Hello. Hello everyone, it's me again. Sorry to be so annoying. It's just my personality. Today we are going to get into an absolutely fantastic display of sound design joy. But first, let's have some community subscriber shoutouts. Big ups to Up in Time, Three Thieves. We Three Thieves of Orient. Yeah, that's probably not what it is. Nine Wrenches, big ups to you from Discord as well. Who says, excellent tutorial. Thank you for this on the D&B transition tips. Also, he's written something else and then edited it. Okay, whatever. Mike Briganti, Slurpty Dirt Big G. Wow, that's a great technique by introducing your leads in a subtle way beforehand. Very detailed. Yep, it's always a good one, that. Paul Sink says, finger drumming on paper on the D&B drum tips. That must have been one of the samples that I'd used and didn't know what it was. Unboxholics brought me here a long time ago but forgot to write it. Keep this banger up, says Wind Rider on the Amethyst track upload from ages ago. Darotum, sick video as usual. CBPM, fire set. Freshly baked D&B. You got the whole set, G's? Yeah, Geez. Yeah, my video set for the Netherlands is on a different YouTube channel. It's on the Kabel Broik channel. Kerry says, love it for the Neurobass ARP. Mike Briganti as well, reminds me of a Dark Wood preset. I think I remember the Dark Wood one actually. I think, was that not a Phase Plant one? I can't remember now. Mike Briggs, wow, great remix. Oh yeah, guys, we did a little free upload on the channel. If you haven't, I'll leave a link above from Non-Profit, who was the runner-up in the Zugzwang remix contest. I've uploaded his track there, and we got some good feedback for there. Very dark. I dig it, says I'm Protos. The bounce more mindset is something I personally struggle with, says CBPM. Hate committing to a sound. Yeah, I bounce stuff out like a kangaroo. Mike Briggs, Slurpty Dirt Big G. Thank you for writing as always, Mike. And Jakob Zelenka, thank you as well. Yeah, we need to get more plays on the Impact song. That's an old song I did with a beatboxer. Anyway, sorry for ranting. We're going to jump straight into the next tutorial today. And as I mentioned yesterday, today's business involves creating a mega bass out of Phase Plant and Vital together, so the two titans combined. I might do a thumbnail about two sort of heavyweight titans fighting each other, maybe robots in the sky or something like that. Yeah, I do all the thumbnails just by making AI art, as you probably have noticed, but I always have to think of like what image could represent the video for today. And I think that's that. Well, I've just shared a little secret on my thought process for today's video. Anyway, let's dive in. So the final sound that I've created today, along with some drums, is a bass that sounds like this. On its own, the bass sounds like this. That's before we've even bounced it out or done anything. It's just the Vital and the Phase Plant together. So let's go ahead and take off the little processing I've done, and we'll discuss the sort of technique. And what I wanted to do was to create the base layer, like the underlying fundamental layer in Vital, which is the primary sine wave layer. So let's discuss that briefly, and you can see me unclicking everything, and that's fun to watch, isn't it? So really, simply, I have three sine waves. One more thing, sorry, before we get started. The concept that I had the only concept I had, other than one's going to do like the low end, the other one's going to do the mid range and the high end, is that they're going to be the same MIDI note, and I'm going to pitch down the whole MIDI note from, I believe it was 3 semitones all the way to 0. So in the advanced tab in Vital, you've got the transpose mode here. And in Phase Plant, there's a global pitch parameter as well. So I thought I'd just do a simple saw down, like a ramp down from 100 to 0, put it on +3. So both patches are going to be going up from 3 down to 0 in their pitch. So by that, by that magic, well, not really magic, but by that method, they will sort of hopefully fit together. Okay, they might do, they might not. Anyway, so the first part then, so everything's going down, you know, from 3 to 0 in terms of the pitch. Remember that. You can see it here. Right, so sine wave number 1 minus 24, sine wave number 2 minus 23, which adds that lovely little wobble. Okay, a little bit of detuning. Sine wave number 3 chirping in with some higher harmonics on the with the frequency modulation from oscillator 1. So giving a bit of growlerson into the sound. The white noise also using a little bit, and it's LFO'd on a really, really fast LFO here. So you can barely hear it, you know. It's on there really, really quietly because later on with the effects it will become louder. And really, really fast triangle LFO to modulate the level of that and a little bit on the panning. I digress. It's not really important, this one. It's just a really basic sine wave bass, you know. A little bit of like filter movement again here. The sample, the white noise, high passed, running into this filter. Everything else coming in as well here. And a bit of a mid-range scoop. Nice mid-range scoop of ice cream. Next then is distortion, about 3 or 4 dB. Just to sort of smash the sine waves together a bit, give them a bit of padding, but they're not too overdone, not too overcooked, like a lizard in a frying pan. A little bit of chorus, just to make it a little bit wider, and we're going to mid-side EQ it later, but we're not going very heavy, it's just 7%. Here's where you get that horrible white noise coming back in, it's almost a bit much. Yeah, the compressor, it brings it out quite a lot, you know. Could bring it down a bit, perhaps. Touch of reverb, I think, to finish, 1%. I think maybe did I EQ it a bit? Yeah. Took some of that white noise down and boosted a bit of where there was a gap. Alright, that's basically it. I should probably go ahead and save this preset anyway. Like simple sine bass, just in case I want another one. I've made probably ones like that before. But yeah, it's got a nice movement and it's got a nice sine wave power and padding. That's going to provide all the low end domination. Okay, so next we're going to do the mid range and the high end and the more interesting character bass, which sounds like this. You can tell it's been already high passed quite a lot in the effects. So we'll turn those off and we'll look at what I've done in the patch here. So that's sort of how it is without anything in the effects turned on. And really, all it is again, similar kind of thing what I've done in the past. A nice granular sample coming out of here, going into the phase of a big juicy sine wave to create the frequency modulation between the two. And that rhythm is coming from changing the amount of grains here, okay? This parameter here. And there's a little bit of movement on this parameter as well. So it goes a little bit from fast to slow. And again, you'll see the only LFO I've got here is another ramp down. And again, this is tracked to the pitch here. So the master pitch +3. So it's going to be working along with our other bass. So both going pitching down, like I said at the beginning. And then, yeah, the only other things that I've done in this part of the synth is to give a little bit of white noise and global unison, everything. And that's pretty much the whole biscuit of this part. I don't know why I said biscuit. Anyway, it's very enjoyable, but it's not anywhere near as good as what it's going to sound like after the effects. And they will also then allow the low end to come out when I do some filtering. So firstly, I'm doing a bit of ring mod, bandpass noise. Give this like digital noise in the high end. Okay, now let's turn off we'll turn off the first vital anyway. I don't think it was on anyway. Anyway, I don't know how else to put it. This is the only thing that I'm good at. I am the bad guy, kryptonite, the green chronic, demonic. No, sorry. Yeah. Sine wave distortion. Don't clip that bit, by the way. driving that up. I'm sort of overdoing it, over distorting it with the sine wave on it, so it's getting like too bassy and rumbly in the low end, but I know that I'm going to take the low end out later, so I'm just trying to get like an interesting mid-range and high end that's a bit different, okay? So I don't mind overdoing it a bit here, overcooking it a bit. Non-linear filter. Trying to sculpt out that tone that you will become a bit more interesting. Shout out to Tony. Hope you're doing well in jail, mate. Phase distortion. Tone here. There he is. There he was all along. Wonderful business. That's really enjoyable there. Just like really overdoing it again. So you can hear it's that everything's distorting a bit too much, you know. Overdrive again, distorting it more. Really taking it to the edge here. Taking out loads of low end now. This is when we're going to start filtering out the low part. So we could add in the other sine wave again here, the other vital bass, so we can have them together now. Because I did start playing them at the same time, so I could sort of, yeah, make sure that they're going to fit together, you know. So here, taking out some low end, and then over here then, we're going to start to do some more crazy stuff. Basically, this is a cool thing. I don't really use the saturator a lot because I don't like the way it sort of affects the low end. But here, I'm only looking for the mid-range and high end, so I don't mind using it here a bit. It's just 14%. Convolver, a little bit of like tight reverb on it. Make it more wider. You know, this layer, because it's not containing the low-end sine wave stuff, all the important bass bits, I can go more extreme like I already am with effects and stereo effects as well. So here again, one more filter taking out some low end. And then a lovely little dual delay to give it even more stereo. Okay, we can go ahead and save that as the Lizard King high end. Okay, because the Lizard King is important. And then, yeah, so they play together, don't they? They kind of work together. And what I want to do then is just, I quickly tidied up the low end again on the phase plant. I did quite well in the synth to remove most of it in with the filter. You can see there's not much there, but I'll just put a little bit more filtering on, kind of taking a bit more low out. I'm not taking out the highs of the first one because there's no point really, and something that, you know, if I have a big sub bass, it's not, for me, it's not important to do this thing on the sub so that you can blend the other one like that. Like for the sub layer, I just leave it all in because it doesn't really have much up there anyway, and the bits that it does have up there are not the bits that's clashing. It's only the low end from the other one that's going to clash. So you can leave all the high end in usually on the sub part, you know. You'll avoid weakening the sine wave and the sub bass by EQing, because EQing always deteriorates the sound. So you should only do it in the moments when you need to, such as this moment where the rumble could interfere with the power of the sine wave from the first one, because the power of the sine wave is the most important part of the sound. Okay, very important. Pay attention. Okay. If you didn't understand any of that, then you've got no hope. I'm just kidding. There is always mentorship available, so you do have some hope. I'm being a bit cheeky. I'm sorry. So what we do then, just to finish off this sound, is a bit more processing here. I've done a mid-side EQ in the low end. Again, 100 hertz. Just to tighten up the quality of the sound, because we don't need any of that stereo rumble down there. Then I'm filtering it all a little bit to give it all a bit more of a way in which it moves together, so they join together as one a little bit. So just a tiny bit of notch filtering mixed in gently and just moving a little bit around here. Just giving the whole Reese, essentially that's what it is, pretty much a Reese, a bit of a bit of cohesion. Is it cohesion? Or just gluing it together with the PVA glue. Mix up on about 20% on my little Klanghelm SDRR with the treble wax up to give a bit more brightness to everything. Colouring the sound in the high end a little bit together on the group of both of them. Then an LFO tool to give a little bit of sidechain into the kick, and that's pretty much it. Now what we could go ahead and do afterwards is we could bounce this beauty out and have a look at it. And you remember that I've done it all so it goes from 3 semitones up to 1, down to 0. So at the end it's going to be a different pitch to the beginning, you know. But I could take this part now, move it over here, and then we'll take the beginning part. This is going to sound epic. I just know it. Just know it. We'll take one of these beginning parts here that wants to be chopped properly, and then what we'll do is we'll just arrange it to go like this. We'll have a little gap in there, and it'll do this, and the clicks at the end are really terrible. So we'll just fade them like off a little bit, and then because there's like a gap now, that's annoying. So we'll do like another reverb again, because we like always doing stuff the long way round, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do that, and we'll take that down just a few percent. So there's a little room tail thing, just like a little bit, and then we've got that part done, and then we'll do like a weird effect on the last bit. So we'll like bounce out the last bit, and then we'll just like on that bit, you know, do like a random thing where we just like, you know, we'll just like put on like a, I don't know, like a delay or something. It's a stupid delay. Okay, a little stupid delay on it. And then like we'll put something else on it. We'll like put I know what we'll do. We'll massively like put a like really stupidly fast tremolo on it. But just turn it down a bit. And then it'll be like really, really sort of like beautiful, like together like that. That was just all a joke, by the way, but it does sound all right. Or does it? I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. But the concept, of course, was you know, once you've made it together, bouncing it out, you've got a whole new bass sample, but you've made the bass out of Artifact's 2 favourite synths. So joy to the synth gods, and don't worship false idols, by the way. And yeah, so that's it really. That's the first part. All sine waves, nice and juicy, big power down there, and then phase plant bass to do all the mid range and the high end, and yeah, together I think quite a nice result. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. So in all seriousness, my G's, that was a little funny way of me trying to make something new out of the kind of mega bass that I made by bouncing it out, chopping bits out, and leaving gaps to create extra movement in the groove. But there's many other ways that you could, for example, create movement with the sound. You know, if I bounced out the whole file as one long file, you know, I could, you know, I could filter it, I could chop it up, and move things around, like create little files and play with the groove like that. Or what else could I do? Because I often wonder what are the other like most efficient or effective ways to put new movement into a sound, like a long bass sample. What would be another way that you guys might know that I'm not aware of, which would be a great way to sort of put movement into like a long piece of audio that you've bounced out? So leave a little bit of advice for me down below, and I will definitely read it all. And yeah, thank you very much for watching today. If you're not subscribed, I recommend you do, because we're going to grow together as a community and learn more and more each day about sound design, music production. I'm going to share as much knowledge as I possibly can, and in the comments section there's probably more knowledge in there as well, or in my Discord as well. There's more people there that know stuff that I probably don't. So I don't say that I'm the absolute most knowledgeable person of anyone on here watching these videos. I just try and share as much as I can, and hopefully we can still learn together somehow. So anyway, hit the subscribe and the notification bell, and tomorrow I'm going to crack on with another tutorial. I'm going to do a special sound effect snare effect. I didn't say that right. I'm going to do special effect snare sample sound effect. That was not right. Special effects snare tomorrow. Come in then. See you then. Bye.